We're back at the Fall Nationals, and you're looking at one of the winningest funny car drivers in history. He has won the last 3 Winston crowns consecutively, but right now there's a young man named Mike Dunn who's out to stop him from earning any more points today.
This is the semifinal round of the Fall Nationals. Kenny Bernstein in the near lane. Mike Dunn in the far lane. Dunn coming off his big win just 2 weeks ago down in Houston, Texas. Bernstein now having put away his closest competitor in the Winston Championship, Mark Oswald, wants to extend that lead to give him some safety cushion going into the finals just a week away. Dale Armstrong and the crew on Kenny's car are dedicated to performance, but they also place a high priority on safety.
Everybody remembers Kenny Bernstein's frightening fire at Maple Grove Raceway last season, especially Kenny Bernstein. Well, after examining the car after the fire and talking to Kenny, crew chief Dale Armstrong found out Kenny never had time to hit the fuel shutoff. His priorities were to activate the fire bottles, which are located at the front of the car, those red fire extinguishers, and to get on the brakes, try to get it stopped so he could get out. Talking to other drivers who had had fires recently, the same thing was found out. They never hit the fuel shutoff, didn't have the time, so fuel continued to feed the fire. Well, Dale Armstrong and fuel systems expert Sid Waterman have come up with a very simple and effective device. Bernstein's car is the only one now that has it. Now, as the propellant from the fire extinguishers comes up here through this line, that this is headed to protect Kenny Bernstein inside the car, they've tapped in a new fitting in this little braided line that goes to this piston. Anytime the fire extinguishers are activated, that same pressure causes this piston to rise and shuts off both of these fuel pumps. Now, this is not some speed secret they want to hang on to. These will be manufactured for everybody by next year, and I can't imagine a nitro funny car driver who wouldn't want this.
Steve, I can't imagine one either. And by the way, Kenny Bernstein was A-OK after that explosion and fire a year ago at the Keystone Nationals. Right now, he is concerned with defeating Mike Dunn.
You think he's a little more relaxed now, right now, Dave, than he was against Mark Oswald?
Well, he's got less than a round of racing separating him from Oswald at this point. You can't relax too much.
Absolutely not. He's up against a tough customer that has a hot head. Mike Dunn relished that winner's circle at Houston, and he wants that experience again. Dunn away first.
Dunn uses the whole shot to upset Kenny Bernstein. Bernstein had the quicker elapsed time, 5.51, but look at the time for Dunn, 5:53. The advantage at the starting line was just a hair over 2/100ths of a second. That's what made the race as close as it was. As we look again in replay, you can see by just a little over 2/100ths of a second on our reaction timer, Mike Dunn got off the starting line ahead of Kenny Bernstein. Try as he might, Bernstein could not pull back on Dunn enough. And there, by just a few inches, Mike Dunn goes into the final.
Mike Dunn goes into his second NHRA National Event final round in a row. Tremendous job.
Loving every minute of it.
It is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, he has a lot of fun in getting beat. We've had our ups and downs this year, but we've stuck with it, and it's coming around.
And you just dated Mark Oswald's cause a little bit. He said he went over to you and said, don't run it to the last light if you don't have to. Don't take my speed points away.
Yeah, he told me that, but on that run, I knew Kenny was close. I had to drive out the back line. I don't think we got his mile an hour, but I wasn't worried about shutting off early that run.
Great job. The track is going to change. It's cooling off. The sun is going down. What do you expect?
I think the air will get a little bit better, and our car, we still got her plenty soft. We tried to step it up against fourth, second round. Obviously, it couldn't handle it, so we softened it back up for that run, and we'll just look at everything for next round and see what happens.
I know you will. It's a good crew.
Mike Dunn will race the winner of this pair. It is Chuck Etchells in the far lane. In the near lane, Tom Hoover in the Champion Auto Stores Pontiac Trans Am Firebird.
And these are two racers, David, that haven't made it to the semifinals in a long, long time. So they're having a great day to get to this point. And there is the crew coming down to console Kenny Bernstein. I'm not sure there's anything that can be said that will do that. So the Winston Points title will go down to the final race of the year in Pomona, California.
The crewman activating the switch that turns on the onboard recording device, the computer on Chuck Etchells' car. Tom Hoover staging in the near lane. Hoover with a big advantage over Etchells goes into the final round. Surprising performances out of Tom Hoover. The time, 5.49 seconds, and Hoover will have the lane choice over Mike Dunn in the finals. What a shocker this is in the Fall Nationals. Tom Hoover, over 25 years into the finals against Mike Dunn at the Fall Nationals. Firebird Raceway, just outside Phoenix, Arizona. We're at the 4th annual running of the Castrol GTX Fall Nationals, and Steve is with a surprise finalist, Tom Hoover.
You know, Tom, as long as you've been doing this, it's still a thrill anytime you can go to the final round.
It definitely is, and the competition, all the guys at a race of any nature in NHRA right now, that's what keeps us all guys going. It's so close and so competitive. It's just fun.
And a 5:49 is going to give you a chance to maybe hit it out of this ballpark.
I'm going to try. Thank you.
It's been since 1979 since Tom Hoover saw the winner's circle at an NHRA championship drag racing event. On the starting line now, semi-final time in Pro Stock Eliminator. Bob Glidden in the Ford, Bruce Allen at the wheel of the Chevrolet. The burnout procedure conducted by all cars in competition. It gets those big tires as hot as possible to provide the traction to get them down the racetrack. There's a lot of equipment utilized behind the scenes at one of these events. Steve took a look.
You know, often we talk about NHRA's Safety Safari and the many emergency services they render. And we've talked before about their staff of EMTs and medical doctors always on the scene. But there's one other piece of equipment at every NHRA national event, a very expensive one, an Aerovac helicopter, literally a flying emergency room. And normally they come in one color, hospital white, but not here in colorful Phoenix. Bearing the proud bird of the valley is a Bocal Messerschmitt helicopter. It's twin turbine, capable of speeds of about 130 knots. Of course, the most important aspect is right here. These wide doors swing open. An injured driver can be at the hospital in just a matter of minutes. But there's another service that these helicopter crews have rendered all season long, and that's taking that camera up there so we can give you aerial views of these fine facilities. We'd like to thank the crew of this chopper and all the choppers all season long that have helped us so very much.
Truly a most important service. The quality of the artwork on the signs and posters definitely improving. Bob Glidden for president.
I think that'd make a great first lady.
I guarantee you Washington would never be the same. We're riding with Bob Glidden as he brings his car into the staging beams to race Bruce Allen. Lots of RPM out of those 500 cubic inch gas burning engines. He pulls away from Bruce Allen and goes into the final round with a 7.45 second elapsed time. His speed over 186 miles an hour. The Pontiac Firebird thunders out of a cloud of smoke. That is Nick Nicholas getting ready for his run against Warren Johnson. Nicholas has got a great challenge ahead of him, as Johnson has had consistently the quicker elapsed times of the two. First this race, then the challenge for the winner here to meet Bob Glidden.
Well, the man from Whiteland continues to just ravage this Pro Stock field. A beautiful 745. The probe is still undefeated.
Yes, but I'm anxious to see what Johnson goes. We made a really nice run then. I think the starting line was a little better. The sun's gone down. I don't know exactly what happened to Bruce. He's been running really well, but the probe came through again. We need one more round here today, Steve. The sun's about to blind me.
You're just about to get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The shadows beginning to lengthen here at Firebird Raceway as Bob Glidden signing an autograph for a fan who somehow made it down to where Steve Evans is. Nick Nicholas in the near lane. In the far lane is Warren Johnson.
That kid didn't ask me for my autograph.
Maybe I ought to build you a race car.
I'll tell you, we got two fine race cars on the starting line. The Oldsmobile of Warren Johnson, based on elapsed time turned all day, has got to be a big favorite if Warren leaves on time. Nicholas putting a little pressure on him, letting him stage first and think about it for a while.
The psychological battle being conducted. Warren Johnson gives up and he rolls into the staging beams. Now Nicholas is ready, and Nicholas has got the advantage. But it does not last for long as Warren Johnson goes into the finals to race Bob Glidden. His elapsed time, 7.46 seconds. His speed, 186 miles an hour. As we look again in replay, you know Bob Glidden was watching as Warren Johnson quickly pulled away from Nick Nicholas, indicating he got a lot of good traction right at the start, which makes him very competitive in that final race against Glidden. At the finish line, the margin of victory well over a car length for WJ Warren Johnson. Going into the final round with Bob Glidden, the two cars are separated by only 100th of a second, and that advantage goes to Bob Glidden. He will use it to select the lane that he wants to race in. Steve?
Well, you know, you ran an outstanding 746, but it just misses lane choice by 100th, but you know you can run with that probe.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's that much difference between the lanes right now. We made some changes just to see what would happen, just in case we won in this round, be ready for the final. I think we're in good shape.
You know, I think every Pro Stock driver would like to be able to say, I was the first to beat that probe.
I will be.
Whoa. It's been thrown, that gauntlet they talk about.
Well, Steve, we'll see you in that classic Pro Stock final coming up just a bit later. This is George Hoover. You remember earlier I told you about the long career of Tom Hoover and the Ma and Pa Hoover cars? Well, that's the Pa. He is 2 years old and still active in his son's race car.